How's it going, everyone? We're back for another video. This is the Paragon here. This is actually the first video I've done for the whole season, and it might be the only one. Full disclaimer, but still, I'm gonna go and give you guys a team reveal. No BS. I'm not doing the whole pick it one by one, pick each player as we go. You just got the whole team here. Let me slap on an emergency. I'll take you through my thoughts though for each and every single person here. So we've got obviously Jack Sinclair in the back line. You know, a lot of people are going, I'll just put him out so we can see all the other options. We could have gone, we could have gone Nazire or something like that, but I'm like, obviously he's going to lose a ton of cash. I haven't really been liking him the whole preseason, haven't really had him in my team at all. So I think obviously the weekend kind of proved why, and a lot of people have obviously gone to that side now as well. So we'll keep Jack Sinclair in there. Rosie, good run, everyone's saying that. Pretty easy schedule, pretty easy role as well. Across half back, maybe in the middle as well. But yeah, and then we got Clark. Again, Clark just seems like a safe kind of 100 to 105 type of guy. I don't know, I'm a little bit worried about this pick, to be honest. It's not the safest one, but his run isn't the hardest either. So, after maybe Geelong this week, shouldn't be too bad. Blackiston, I do like the role. Obviously, number one ruckman. I reckon they'll have it for at least 5 weeks, and in that time, he can probably get up to high 300s, maybe even 400k. That's honestly nearly just about enough, getting that quick cash, and then can trade him out. I mean, hopefully if he holds the role for longer, then who knows, can keep him, but if Nick Bryan comes back in, then we'll see. Then we've ended it off with some rookies. I mean, again, the teams come out in probably about 20 minutes, 30 minutes for the rest of the teams, but we've got already the Richmond and Colton ones for tonight. But yeah, Sarong, 77 last week, Jacks as well, 84, Selwood, 70. Look, pretty all decent scores all around. Happy with all of them. Lindsay, again, he's got a bit of hype around him. Doesn't seem too bad, so we'll go with him. Then in the midfield, look, I've tried to go with some big dogs in here. Butters, I think he's, a really good captaincy option every single week. We'll flick over to the mids. I'm just not really liking the Bontempelli pick just because I think he's going to play too much forward. And obviously from a SuperCoach perspective, that's obviously not the ideal. So we're not going to go with him. Dacos, again, I think he just obviously racks up a ton of the ball. So yeah, he should score well. One thing that I have actually seen across the whole round 0 and everything, and even a little bit of the preseason, is it seems like scoring isn't the same as it was last year. It seems like Champion Data might have changed around their formula a little bit. Like if you look at it, I was looking at it for some of the games, and there's a lot of people that are getting like say 20 plus disposals and are scoring under 80 this year. I actually went through some of the games, and there are sometimes 4 or 5 people across round 0 this year who are scoring under 80 with 20 touches. And you can compare that to last year in some of the round 0 games. So that's the only sample size I looked at. But, it was maybe only 1 or 2 people getting 20 touches and scoring below 80. So it looks like there may not be grading those higher touches, or those, the accumulators may not score as well this year, potentially. Again, that could be due to the, faster transition coast to coast that we'll probably see this year, higher scoring, so maybe people who don't get as many disposals but kick more goals, obviously, will score a bit better. So, I don't know, it's a bit interesting, but I'm a little bit wary of just picking some of these guys who do really accumulate a lot. But in saying that, again, I have gone for big dog mids. You do have to put your money someplace. So, yeah. Noah Anderson, again, really good option in my opinion. And Ed Richards, obviously played really well. Happy with him. He should be the one, probably him and Todd Liberatore, that do play pretty permanent mid this year. Any of these guys that I would look at? Not really. Andrew Brayshaw I was considering a little bit, but ultimately just don't think so. Jordan Dawson had a really slow start to last year, and that's kind of put me off going with him. Hayden Young, again, just seems like a really good price. Got to get him at that price. Darcy Parish isn't too bad as well. Hayden Young, I'm probably expecting about a 90 average from, maybe 95. Can probably get up to 500k. Parish, probably about the same. He could even definitely go about 100, 105. So I could see him getting up to 500, 550. And Bruin, again, if he just goes at these 90s like he did last week, definitely will get up to probably 400, 450. Jagger Smith, everyone's going with him, obviously. Seems like a pretty easy selection. And then, yeah, Dyson Sharp, not really the surest on this pick, but look, a lot of people are going with him, so kind of herd mentality should be okay. Watkins didn't do too bad in the preseason, so looking for 99k, not too bad. Myers as well, 99k. I reckon some of these guys could not be too bad, mature age, so we'll just see how it goes. Then in the rucks, so obviously this is a big point of debate, big point of contention for a lot of people. So I've chosen to go with DeConning as my premium ruck. Again, a lot of people are only going with one. Some people are doing two, but a lot of people are only doing one. Now, I'm not going to go any of the top price people, like Gorn, Cherry, Grundy, Jackson, English, whatever, that a lot of people are doing. And it's just because there's so much uncertainty around all of the ruckmen, And again, I'm in that boat. I really don't know what's going to happen. And I just would rather not spend as much. Like, I think DeConning, again, even he could definitely go down in value. But I think if he drops, he's not going to drop maybe 100 or 150k like I can envisage some of these people will. He's also, Rowan Marshall will be out this week with concussion, so he'll have the whole ruck time to himself. But obviously after that, he'll come back, Rowan Marshall. But look, it's not too bad. It's not really a justification for picking him that Rowan Marshall's out this week. But yeah, I just think DeConning, I think he'll give me about 100 average, and I think that's all basically that I need for him. He's priced at about 97 right now, so if he does about 96s or whatever, he'll hold his price, so that's not too bad. And then, yeah, like, just some of these guys, obviously, like Max Gorn, Tristan Cherry, I can see them crashing, 100 plus K over the next few weeks. So even if you want to get them then, they'll be easy to pick up. McAndrew, again, a lot of people are going with him. I'm actually not really the surest of him. Like, again, Riley O'Brien's their vice captain. Is he really going to stay out of the team for that long if he stays out at all? I'm not sure, really. I'm not sure. But, yeah, look, even if he's just going with him, hopefully he can at least pump out 50s, 60s, and then we can get him off the field at some point. As my bench ruck, I have gone Zane Zakostelski. Don't know how to pronounce his name. I didn't watch the last week's game when they played against the Bulldogs and they were calling out his last name, so I'm not sure. This was actually Liam Reedy until he got dropped. But again, now that he is dropped, it's not him anymore. And I actually don't think that Zane is too bad a pick. And I reckon that's because, again, like Harris Andrews now is out to like round 5. Brisbane have a ton of injuries. So I actually think that Zane's probably not too badly placed. Like, he can play a key defensive role. And even Sam Draper, like, again, realistically, he's been pretty injury prone over the last little bit. So he'll come back in and he'll play that second ruck this week. But who knows? What's to say that he doesn't get injured in a few more weeks? It's only a bench spot. He does have obviously the defensive DPP, so that does help out. So we're going to go with him. Could have gone like a Cooper Duff Tyler, but I just don't really see the scoring potential with him. Like, I think he's definitely someone that's prone to putting out a lot of 30s, 40s, 50s, and for that increased 190k, I'd like to see a little bit more than that. So I'm not going with him. Forward line, so as you can see, I've got the top 6 highest owned people, so it's a pretty vanilla forward line. It's a pretty vanilla team, to be honest. Like, again, there's no real game shakers out here, if we're being real. Sheasel, Petrarca, Flanders, just the obvious, really. Don't have to go into those too much. Buderick impressed on the weekend, so not too bad. Philippou, even if he goes at 66 from now on, his break-even right now is what? It's -4. So, look, don't think he'll be a keeper or anything like that, but I think he should be one to get up to 400k probably, 350k, so probably picks himself. And then, again, probably injuries is the thing I'm most concerned about with Philippou, but if he's playing, he should be good. And Dev Robertson, if he gets a good crack at it, who knows, he could definitely be one to get up to 400k as well. And then on the bench, I actually just changed this about 20 minutes ago. I had DeGoey in my team, and so Dev Robertson was on the bench, and Doveston was not in my team. DeGoey was there instead. But I'm just feeling a little bit uneasy about DeGoey just because of, again, the injury history. Like, even in the second quarter of the game last week, Collingwood v St Kilda, he played, 5 minutes of the second just because he got really gassed after the first. Not what you want to see, only playing 5 minutes of the second quarter in the first game of the season. So it's just put me a little bit off him. Doveston, look, is a guy that I think can probably put out 50s, maybe some 60 games. I mean, in the preseason, I think he put out a 60 or a 70. And he doesn't have the toughest run. Like, Port Adelaide first up shouldn't be super difficult. I mean, again, North Melbourne will probably lose all these games, knowing them. But, it's not too difficult. It's teams that are around their ability. Pretty soft draw to begin. Port, West Coast, Essendon. Carlton, a little bit tougher. Brisbane at Bar. I'm assuming that's in Tasmania. And then Richmond at Marvel. Look, I don't think it's the worst pick in the world. And he shouldn't have to touch my field, hopefully. And then Lombard, look, I think he will just play. I think he's definitely a beneficiary of the non-sub rule, well, taking off the sub rule for this year, because he probably would have been sub. Or he probably would be sub throughout the season a few times otherwise. And yeah, Gold Coast just have a pretty soft run. So, should be good. And then probably the one difference which I have, which, again, I think he's in 1% of teams, is, Brody Kemp. Now, look, to be completely honest with you, their draw is not the toughest. I mean, they've got Richmond right here. And let's see, then they've got Melbourne, North Melbourne. Shouldn't be too difficult. So, pretty easy first 3 rounds. And then, I mean, it gets a bit tougher after that. But, look, I can see him getting up to 350k pretty easily. He's obviously best 22 for them. 205k. He's probably, their second best forward behind Harry Mackay. So, look, I think he's not the worst pick in the world. I don't really, and again, I'm not really sure why more people aren't picking him, to be honest with you. I can see him being a guy that probably scores a lot of, like we're seeing here, 60 to 70 points every week. Can even get the odd 80 or 90 if he kicks, 3 or 4 goals. Let's see, what were his stats on the weekend? It was... Doesn't even have his stats. But, no. Do we have this? No, we don't. Okay. Doesn't even show it. But that's okay. So, yeah. Anyway, that's fine. So, yeah. That's how we're lining up. Let's go back to my team. This is what we're doing. So, yeah, we do have a lot of cash in the bank. 247k. Look, not the most ideal. I would like to probably put a bit more cash on field, but at least it'll help me for the coming next 2 weeks, because obviously everyone's going to have to make correction trades and everything like that. So I'm sure it's not the perfect team, but it's okay. My main plan, I want to be low risk, so I don't have anyone here that I think can blow up too much in my face. I mean, Kemp's got a bit of an injury history risk, same as maybe Hayden Young, Darcy Parish. Actually, maybe there is a few people that could blow up in my face here. But, look, I only need them to get through 3-4 weeks, and then I can start making more and more trades. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, I do have quite a few round 0 players as well, which might be a bit of an issue. We'll just go through that. So, in round 2, I mean, we should be able to cover this. I mean, again, it's just best 18. So, should be able to cover this for this week. Round 3, this one could be a bit tough, but should be able to cover it still. Again, we'll have made some correction trades and whatnot. So, look, I'm not too fast. If we're being real. Then I'm not even going to look at the mid-season buys, because the team's just going to be completely different by then. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I'm thinking. Yeah, captaincy, vice-captaincy this week. Look, Ed Richards is playing an early game. Not super early, but it's the 3rd game of the round. If he obviously goes maybe 150 plus, I'll probably just start a loophole somewhere. Maybe not Zane, maybe I'll start the Kalani White guy from Melbourne. I don't know. I'll see. It'll depend how I feel. But in saying that, Zach Butters against North Melbourne on Sunday, hopefully he scores pretty well. So we'll probably just put the captaincy on him regardless. Probably a lot of people won't have a loophole, so yeah, we'll see. I mean, from round 2 onwards, obviously we will, because there'll be buys pretty much every week. And then by round 5, again, we'll probably have a few dead rookies or whatever. So that's pretty much the team. That's pretty much all I've got for this video. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Like I said before, this may be the one and only time that I record for the season. But I do remember, I think I had someone actually comment on a video from last year, and I got a notification of it saying if I'm going to upload this year. So thank you for commenting. This is pretty much the reason why I'm doing it. So yeah, I want to give you guys a team reveal. My strategy for this year, I'm probably going to play consistently. I think I might not, but you know, even if I don't upload, I probably will try to update my team and whatnot, still in a few leagues and stuff like that with people. But yeah, my main strategy is just go a bit low risk at the start of the season. I think I went a bit too high risk at the start of last season, and then my plan was conserve trades. And if you're trying to conserve trades, then you've got to go low risk, you know, because otherwise it's just going to be like when stuff blows up in your face, and what are you going to do, you know? So I feel like I've gone a bit more of a lower risk team here, pretty vanilla, like I said, and then I'll obviously try to conserve a few trades. Maybe round 1 heading into round 2, I use 1 trade. Then round 2 heading into round 3, I use 2 trades. Then obviously pretty much everyone's on the bubble after that. And so at that point, then I've used 3 trades, and then we can just get going after that. Maybe boost the next 5 weeks or something like that. Who knows? And really try to get the team going. We will see. We will see. But yeah, anyway, that's all I've got for now. I think, yeah, I also want to really just kind of make sure that I'm buying people when, like, I'm buying low and selling high. Maybe not selling high necessarily, but buying low. You know, there's no, well, I get the point of trying to buy premiums when they're 600 plus K because they're just on fire and you want to get onto that. But a lot of the time it does end up being chasing points when you look at it back in retrospect. And the best decision is usually just forego it, go, you know, the 450k guy or something like that. Like, if we take a look at, like, Matt Rao from last year, let's try to see what he was doing. Let's try to see how his price went. So, season stats 2025. Can we see his price? Yeah, so, again, so he started the year at 550k, but then he went all the way down to 464k. You know, you could have gotten him below 500k for a few weeks, and that was the perfect time, you know. And then again, he finished the season absolutely on fire, you know, like probably with about 135 average or something, 130 average maybe for the last few weeks. So yeah, just buy low, because at the end of the day, a lot of it's kind of cyclical with form and everything like that, you know, like people go through hot patches and cold patches. So, you know, it's like if they're in a cold patch, they're probably going to be in a hot patch soon. So you may as well just buy when they're cold. Compared to if you buy when they're at the hot patch, they'll probably be at a cold patch soon. So don't buy when they're hot. That's what I've just got to remember. Because again, I mean, it kind of seems a little bit arbitrary, because it's like, you know, hot patches, cold patches, you know, it's like, what's really the science behind it? There's probably not too much, but it kind of is a real thing. So you kind of just have to remember that. Anyway, yes, that's pretty much all I've got. All I've got to say. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video.